Welcome to AETCM, the Emergency Medicine channel. Today's our topic of discussion regarding documentation. So, content of our presentation, introduction to the documentation. What's the purpose of documentation in our emergency medical service, more specifically in pre-hospital ratios, and then documentation for every EMS call. What are the elements we have to document in? What are the must thing we have to document? And then special situation. Finally, what are the care we have to take care while the time of documentation? So first thing, let's jump into the topic. I'll tell something, some clues regarding the documentation. So if I am telling the word like a pre-hospital technician, otherwise emergency paramedic means, what's the first picture you will get in your mind? So if I am telling like emergency medic paramedic, EMT like a thing means, what's the first foremost picture you will get in your mind? Almost everyone will get a picture of the rushing into the scene, taking care of the person in the scene, and then giving a care in the scene, and then extrication process, care in the transit. These are the things only we will get in our mind, but we won't get the person, the EMT person who is writing the documentation, otherwise communicating with other specialty people and all. Normally, as an normal EMT, as an paramedic, we won't get those pictures, but we will get a picture like a care while doing a care, the resuscitation. Those are the picture only we'll get. But the major important thing is, an while doing an being a paramedic, being an emergency medical technician, documentation and communication both are the major entity. Both are most needed things, because last presentation itself we discussed regarding communication, where and all we are communicating, what's the important in this and all we discussed. In this part, we are more stressed on the documentation part. So first thing, majorly our patient care report, otherwise pre-hospital care report, consists two major things only. First one, objective data, subjective data. What is meant by objective data? These are the measurable signs that you observe and record. Means like we can tell as a BP measurement, otherwise SpO2 measurement. These are the signs. Otherwise, while the time of physical examination, we will assess the Cullen sign, Fox sign. Those are the signs we will assess, and then we will find some conclusion. But in the case of subjective data, means these are the symptoms, like these are the information that is told to you but which cannot be seen. So simple difference. So objective means these are the signs we will assess, and then we will measure the those are the recordings. But in the case of subjective data means the information that is tell by that person who is having something disease or symptoms. Those are the things. So simply, objective means signs, subjective means symptoms. So this is the one of the example of the pre-hospital care report. You may follow the various report, but this is the report where we have a lot of check boxes, and then finally we have a narrative portion. This is called narrative portion. Here we'll have a lot of check boxes. Here we have to tick one by one which are the things here we can see the response mode, either it's emergent, non-emergent, those are the things. And then here you will get a vital signs regarding things. So various check boxes in your agency, otherwise in your definitive care, you may follow various different format, but this is the one of the example for the patient care report. And then why it's important, otherwise what's the purpose of documentation in pre-hospital settings? So main first one is it's a legal record. It's a record part. In record part, it is a legal record. In communication part itself, we discussed how the emergency call arises. So someone in the public, they recognize something emergency happens, so the access to the emergency medical service. So from that, the dispatcher team get a call. From that, as a paramedic, we are getting the call. So each and every step is a legal process. So each and every step is a legal step. So everything should be recorded. For what reason they were called, accessed emergency medical service, at what time they accessed, everything should be kept as a legal record. Second thing, it's a major important part of the patient medical record. So this is the part of record. Quality wise, It's a incident review and then quality assurance. So we document something, so based on that they will review, and then if they want any advanced thing, otherwise if they want to update anything standards, if they want to update any protocol, means based on that review, they will review and then they will update the things. And then quality assurance, indirectly they will check our skills also. So it's about the quality part. Third one is a care. It gives a major clue in the continuation of care, because while the documentation we will write like what's the mechanism of injury, what's the nature of illness, otherwise what are the signs you assessed and the time of while you arrive at the scene, and what are the intervention you given. So those are the clue things. While the person get into the definitive care, they will get some major clues and then they will proceed based on that. So in our emergency, every seconds matter. So these are the major clues. They will easily get up and then they can improve the patient by giving the appropriate care. And then fourth one is a guide. It's a guide for the future patient care, and then billing purpose also. It's one of the major things. So we are categorizing into four things: record, quality, care, and guide. So, what are the most important elements we have to document in every emergency call? First thing, there will be an one term like a minimum data set. What is meant by minimum data set? Minimum data set is the clinical assessment and standard information that must be documented on every emergency call. So this is the most important least thing we have to record, we have to document in every emergency call. So that's categorizing into two things: run data, patient data. What's in the run data means here we have to record the incident time, location, which unit is responding, and then the name of the crew members working at the scene, working at the incident. Second thing, patient data. In this we have to include the chief complaints, level of consciousness based on the AVPU scale. The AVPU scale last class itself, last presentation itself, we discussed detailedly, and then I am reminding you, A means awake and alert, V means verbal to response to verbal stimuli, P means response to the pain stimuli, U means unresponsive. In further cases, we will divide into A into furthermore four things. A into 4, you may see in like A into 4, A into 3, A into 2, A into 1. Means, so if the person is responding to person, place, time, and event. So if you are asking regarding who are you and then what happened to you, where you are, like that, what's the time now. So everything he is responding means A4, awake and alert, grade was 4. If the person is only responding to the person, place, and then time only knows, he don't know about the what happened to him means, let's say A into 3. So A into 2 means person and place. He only aware about the who is he and then where is he, like that. So A into 1 means only he aware about the who is he. He don't know about the where is he and then what's the time now, what happened to him. So he don't aware about this. So these are the things. So AVPU means awake and alert. Furtherly, we are dividing into four things. V means response to the verbal stimuli. P means response to the pain stimuli. U means unresponsive. This is the AVPU scale. And then vital signs assessment based on demographics like age, sex, ethnic background. Those are the things most importantly. So minimum data set means run data and patient data. And then transfer of care, that also most important. So we are take back the person from the scene to the definitive care. In that, where we are hand overing the person, that is the most important thing. So to whom we are hand overing, at what time we hand over, what are the handover we given at the time of definitive care. So those are the major elements we have to record in our document part at the final. So if we fail to document those are the things, mean that's called abandonment. So abandonments in medical legal ethical part we discussed detailedly. Abandon means it's a simple term. So without taking a consent, we are withdrawing our medical any other procedure, otherwise medical treatment means that's called abandonment. So without a person's consent, patient consent, otherwise who is taking care of the person, otherwise bystander consent, we are withdrawing the medical procedure or treatment means that's called abandonment. So transfer of care. Third thing is a care prior to arrival. So think like if you are get a call like an unresponsive person at the scene, so you en route to the scene. Before that, while doing that, while you are transit, the dispatcher asked regarding that person's condition, so they were recognized as a cardiac arrest. So with the dispatcher help, the lay person, otherwise the bystander who is performing the hands only CPR. So in this time, after your arrival, so you will follow that for this management like ACLS protocol. These are the things. What's the need of that documenting the care prior to the arrival? So if you are familiar with the ACLS protocol, means there we can see the when we have to withdraw the CPR, when we have to stop the terminate the CPR. There we have some protocol like a thing. There they will given like at the time of if the no lay person provides CPR, otherwise no shock deliver, means that the cases we have to terminate the CPR, and then in furthermost cases more than 30 minutes of try, no ETCO to more less than 10. These are the, some clinical points. Though in this time special situation, we have to know about the when they started CPR, when they initiated, what's the duration of CPR. Those are the important things. So for that reason, we have to mention the care prior to arrival. And then special situation like these are the special situation, refusal of care. The refusal of care also we detailedly discussed in the medical legal ethical part, where we have to take, how we have to assess the mental status, and then to whom we have to take, at what time we have to take. Those are things we detailedly discussed. Let just check it in that part. And then workplace injuries and illness, if you exposed with any contaminant, means there you have to record in a special paper. Mass casualty incident also we have to record. Cases of alleged abuse or neglect also we have to record. Physician arrives or at scene. So while the time of your entry, otherwise along with you, if the physician came, means there you have to record in a document. So these are the things. You may have a separate document paper. If you have, you can record a separate paper. Otherwise, you can record in a same PCR report itself. And then care in documentation, some important things we have to notify. No matter your particular writing style, but your report should be complete, well written, legible, professional, and it should be contain your sole source of the information about the call. This is the most important thing. Second point, so one while you are hand off over, so if you don't have enough time to complete the whole PCR, means then you have to submit the transfer report or drop report. It's one of the report a major facility we have in our pre-hospital scenarios. Once if you don't have enough time, means to complete the full PCR, then you can submit the transfer report or drop report. So after that, based on that hospital protocol, or otherwise within 24 hours, you can submit the full document. So this is about the some like a drop report or transfer report. It's a simplified form. And third one is a document the use. You have, if we used any mutual aid service like a helicopter, otherwise specialized rescue team, means there we have to mention in our document part. Unusual occurrence, for if you are restraining the patient for the safe transport, means there you have to record. And then rather situation like if you used additional crew members, otherwise if you used any specialized vehicle other than emergency medical force like fire force, otherwise law enforcement force, means there you have to mention that also you have to mention in document part. Most importantly, if you are taking more time for extrication also, what's the reason for that long time, there you have to mention. And then if the weather condition is delayed your response also, these are the minor elements we won't take care as much as, but we have to care, because every thing is a clue thing while the time of law enforcement investigation, otherwise for that patient care also, future patient care also, in every element it's taking role. And then controlled substance, we are the responsible for the security and accountability. Like OPI drug if you are using, means we are the responsibility for the drug security and then accountability. So at the pertinent spoken account, it accounts made by your patient or others on scene may be essential to continuum of patient care. So means in your scene, if the person is making some words, otherwise he is mentioning something, means then you have to put it in quotation mark. Those also you have to mention in your document. Like if the person is telling like suicidal related things, if he is telling, means there you have to mention here, because that might be useful in that law enforcement related. Otherwise the continuation of care, patient care also we can treat to psychologically. So those are the important elements. So most important, we have to quotation and put in the quotation mark, and then who said that word, when he said the word, place the exact word also we have to keep it in our document. Protect the PCR from the contaminant, and the patient privacy also most important thing. Any accuracy of documentation depends upon the completeness and precision of the report. This is the most important thing. So if you are handling with the foreign body airway obstruction, so you should not consider, you should not think about the respiratory system assessment itself enough. No need of other system like that, you should not think. If the cardiac system, otherwise extremities, those are the things also there, means you have to tick it out, you have to assess, and then you have to everything you have to mark it out. Once if you fails those to check it out, those box, means what they will think, means it will leads like a misinterruption, because it will show like a, you didn't check the, you didn't assess the cardiac part, you didn't assess the extremities, like that it will go end up. So that's why we have to always assess and then check. We have to complete the all checkbox in the PCR. In narrative section, document the medical control orders or medical advice what you received consultation. So I can tell like this is the first thing, check boxes under choose the best answer like things. So narrative section and all, it's like a essay like a thing. So here you are selecting the particular point. Here you have to document everything. Here you are essay like a thing. You are what happened from the time of dispatch to the end of the handoff over. So handwriting in this part is should be neat and then easily read by the others. So many methods we are following in narrative part, but these are the four common methods in our EMS system regularly we are following. So first one, chronological order, means from the dispatch time to the handoff over. What happened, when happened, those are based on the time initial. We have to mention from the dispatch time to the until the handoff over. The second is a SOAP method, means subjective, objective, assessment and plan. So you are get subjective already we discussed, objective also we discussed. So assessment, why you are assessing something, and then based on that you are creating some plan what you are going to do further. So like a charting method, here also chief complaints, H for history, assessment, R for treatment, transport, and then exception, anything is there or not. And then final one is a body system or parts approach. It's like a vast majority thing we have to assess system wise, and then we have to mention everything. It's a lengthier process, it will take more time. So regarding that we can follow the other three things. So always in EMS system, accurate timekeeping is most important essential thing. So always check your time with the dispatcher time. It either it's synchronized or not. Is the same or not, like a thing. So what are the time we have to mention? Time of call, time of dispatch, time of arrival at the scene, time with patient, time of medication administration, time of medical procedure, time of departure from the scene, time of arrival at the medical facility, time of transfer of care, time back in service. So these are the things we have to mention. And then again it's important to document the time and performed person name for each and every medical procedure and then drug administration. If you are administrating like salbutamol, otherwise if you are nebulizing the salbutamol, means you have to mention like nebulization salbutamol by whom, by Vincent, your employee code, paramedic code, and then at 15:31. Like that, you have to every medical procedure, every drug given time, you have to mention your name and then your time you have to mention. So if you forget to include some important information, then you can add the addendum to your original report but here also you have to mention like what's the reason for the late entry, and then when you included date and time, that and all you have to include. So finally, the person who made the original PCR, he is the authorized person to add something, otherwise to delete something, otherwise to cut off something. But the thing is, you have to mention the what's the reason for that. And then inappropriate, inaccurate, poor documentation can adversely affect the quality of care that revised by the patient after arrival at the hospital. If you make any mistake, as like a addendum, here also if you made any mistake means, then you have to place a horizontal line, and then here you have to sign it something, and then you have to place the exact word at the next. So these are the things we are following from our childhood. We should not scribble in our paper. We have to make a slight single line like things. So if a report has to be revised or corrected means, then note the date and time of the revised report and the purpose for writing the revision or making the correction. Never discard or destroy the original PCR. This is the most important thing. So we write a new thing, so that is the no need of old PCR like that. We should not discard or destroy. The only the person who wrote the original report can revise it, can modify it, can add something in it. So carefully review all reports before submitting them to the receiving medical facility, otherwise your agency, wherever. So finally, no job is finished until the paperwork is done. So this is the most important part. Okay, do your best. Shalom.